Alright guys, so we have some big news breaking in the gaming industry, and you probably won't hear this from mainstream media, mainly because, well, they're involved. But let's jump into it. For some time now, I've had this theory that there is a cabal, there is a group of people that push a narrative politics over intentions, or intentions and politics over facts, I suppose is a better way of putting it, that basically go through and they run the industry to push a narrative, right? We've seen this with Gamergate, we've seen this with, for example, Star Citizen, Cyberpunk. Countless times I've said on Cobra's streams, by the way, go check him out, I'll put a link in the description below. He does a call-in every Friday night, and my work schedule is changing again, so I should be able to jump on. But also, yeah, I've said it on Cobra's stream, I've said it on Salty Mike's stream, I've said it on a few different people's channels, that there is a agenda that is being pushed. There is an agenda to go through and to push an agenda, mainly to benefit publishers and their relationship with games journalism. Now, we've gone through and this article has dropped, which is actually starting to lend credence to what I've been saying. So let's just jump through the article. If you're conservative, you have no chance. Games Journalism Insider outs critiques that run industry like a private domain. Now, it's by Sophia Nozowitz. I'll put a link in the description below for her Twitter. Go and follow her, please. A writer and journalist from the US, outside of her work on RT, she is a primary writer for Colin Minority's SideQuest content. She manages her own YouTube channel. Right, an influence figure from the leading game website says that the critique of like-minded media figures are colluded to prevent right-leaning journalists and developers from having a voice in the industry. If you're openly a conservative and try to apply any mainstream outlets that are on the coast, I don't think you'll have a chance in hell in getting a job, says the senior source who wishes to remain anonymous for fear of reprisals. There's a lot of us that probably think there's a critique. Well, we know there's a critique, they say. Click. The Click is composed of journalisms from well-known gaming and tech websites. Among them, Kotaku, Polygon, Vice Cynic, I don't know that one, Game Daily, GameSpot, Eurogamer, and loads more. And I would say IG is probably inside that as well. People won't write something or won't say anything on Twitter or whatever because you spew one wrong opinion and you're asking for trouble, says the source, who has admitted keeping their own opinions private to avoid sanction. Unless you don't care about potential opportunities with the industry, a lot of people just don't say what they actually think. Now, politics over integrity. The dominance, I can't speak properly, has directly impacted the integrity of journalism at the publication ran by the Click members. One example, which was described to me in detail, I have to obscure to protect my source. Staff members were discussing coverage of a controversial figure who had been wrongly punished by a gaming organisation. I would love to know who that was. Several members of the site objected, saying the figure did not deserve fair coverage because they're not a good person. Their crime? Been openly right-wing. So I really don't know who this is, but I have a speaking suspicion. My sources continue, they don't want to cover things because they don't like someone, and that's not how you do journalism, that's blogging. Hypocrisy in action. The Click's power has insulated it from criticism, allowing them to get away with many of the offences they punish others for. To cite examples, Danny O'Dwyer, former of GameSpot, used to drop N-bombs on Twitter. Patrick Clappy from Vice has a history of rape jokes. Oh, that's going to get me demonetized. Oh, I'm not monetized anyway, but anyway. Laura K. Daniel, formerly of Kotaku, once slandered a comedian only to admit she made the event up, and Jed Whittaker made the entire video where he laughs about RAPE and also drops N-bombs. While other devs, such as the team behind Iron Fury, are called homophobic in the hit pieces because they're puns in the game. My source believes that shaming tactics and the click deploys are not just about hypocritical self-righteousness, but clicks. It's all an audience-building tactic. Look how much people talk about these controversial articles on social media. They know exactly what they're doing because it works. You sow the dissent, people engage with it, and voila, you got thousands of visitors. Hounding Horowa. My source is particularly outraged over the click's duplicity when it comes to mental health. On one hand, mainstream games journalists will take up its importance on the industry and within games themselves, or even set up mental health initiatives. The next instance, they will destroy the public lives of potentially vulnerable individuals for the most minor transgression. People forget how dangerous it is for people with fragile mental health to be dogpiled by potential thousands of people on Twitter, they tell me. My sources, who does not consider themselves a conservative, closet to otherwise, says that people have confused journalism for activism. The most notorious recent instance they were discussing was the suicide of a developer, Alex Hazowitz, last year, following accusations of sexual abuse by feminist campaign Zoe Quinn. We've talked about this. Those allegations, as far as I know, are false. The source was concerned by the witch hunt atmosphere that made even questioning them impossible until after the subject of the accusation was dead. If somebody actually wants to see evidence that someone was sexually assaulted, you're immediately thrown under the bus for just wanting to hear both sides of the story, and you don't support victims, even though that's absolutely not true, they say. You can't get the full story from one side all the time. The source believes that journalists disregard their fundamental duties in tuning into political activists instead. Developing hardship. Sources confirm the self-censorship described as walking on eggshells extends beyond journalism. Its members will often perform Twitter deep dive to extent problematic statements, which are then used to imperil careers of game developers who do not have the finances or reputation to defend themselves. A notable example is the Last Night developer Tim Short, who was demonetized in 2017 for saying he was against feminism and for egalitarianism and supporting Gamergate in the years-old tweet. The game developer, just as sick of the clickbait and out of the context quotes as anybody else, my source reveals. They say they have been told this in person, and that they say that this is how sown of mistrust between the media and the game's creators. A lot of times the game developers, feel spoken for from the press, and that's not what they actually think, they say. They can be open and honest about their actual opinions without someone being ripped from them and spun in a way. So they can't be honest and open with their opinions without something being ripped from them and spun in a way that is negative towards them, and they're not only the same page with everybody else. If they're not on the same page as everybody else, sorry. It's been a long day. This tales with my own exaggerations with sources from Arcane Studios in 2008 who said they had to conceal their beliefs while progressive members of the team made proud declarations such as the world would be better off without white men. Situation led to unresolved tensions within the team. Will it be rise up? The existence of the clique probably won't be surprising to those who follow the industry closely. No, it's not. In 2014, the leaking an email chain called Games Journalist Cabal alerted the public to behind-the-scenes power structure where the medium's most influential voices were syndicated coverage. Jump to present day, and appears the insider communications channels have not just been rebuilt, but made stronger. Behind the scenes, other writers are aware of what's happening, but they're afraid to speak up. If you think you'd be surprised at how many writers can't stand the click in this space, most won't say anything because they need the work, you know. They also added sounds cowardly, but there's definitely a lot of fear in this space that people will get cancelled for speaking out against a lot of what's going on. Perhaps in time we'll be brave enough to speak out about this suffering confronted or even publish contrary views. But for the moment, it's about bending the knee to the click or else. How is the balance shifted entirely in one direction and entirely open to a group is due to just numbers, as many sources would say. They control the messaging, they have the influence, they paint themselves as these moral grandstanders, and anyone that's not in line that they push out to carve with their niche. Alright, so apart from me reading that terribly, what's the takeaway from this? Okay, so this article is basically everything that I've known for quite some time. We are seeing lately that there is certainly an agenda and certainly an opinion that gets pushed with the games media. For example, with Star Citizen and Cyberpunk. Right? Those two games. And I've warned people. I said, Cyberpunk will be the next game that gets attacked. Right? Because at the end of the day, there's no major publisher that is actually attached to this thing. And I was right. Now, at the end of the day, look, no one's going to be surprised at this. Is there a cabal that is pushing an agenda? Yeah, we've known that. If you don't watch IG or ING or Insider Gaming, I think it is IG, who did a view on Sonic. You know, is the success of Sonic problematic? And I'll probably make a video about that tomorrow. Where they're literally going on and saying, you know, it's great that we got the movie that everybody wanted, and it's great that this movie is a success, but, you know, it's a little bit problematic, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's a little bit problematic when you remake a game, remake a movie because of outrage, because you're proving those people were right. I'll do a breakdown of the video and we'll talk about it tomorrow for you. I'm going to start making daily videos on this channel as well. But guys, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not surprised by this. I'm not surprised that some of the biggest media journalists are involved. Kotaku, I would say ING is involved in this. IGN is involved in this. I'm dyslexic. But yeah, no, like I say, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not surprised by this. I'm really, really not. Now, at the end of the day, is this going to get the coverage? Probably not. And by the way, guys, Upper Echelon has done a really good video on it. I'll put a link to that as well. I'll try and remember all these links in the description below. Go and check out his videos. Subscribe to him. Look, him and I had a difference in opinion on things, but this we are completely agree with. And at the end of the day, I'm not surprised. I'm really, really not. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Please share this video because this is going to get squashed by YouTube. Us even talking about this is going to get this video squashed, censored, and well, sorry, we're not monetized anyway. But let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Apart from that, guys, obviously this video has been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. We are going to start making daily content. I realise I've been away from the YouTube channel for a while. I apologise. I have been streaming on Twitch every day, except for today. I'm about to start streaming now. But yeah, but apart from that, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in that comments. Apart from that, guys, I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great day and enjoy.